Well, before I get into this little story about Brick, the deer that I killed this season, I first want to give thanks to the Lord. We owe it all to Him. And next, most important thing, I want to give thanks to my wife and my kids for bearing with me through hunting season, because during that time of year, I'm not around near as much as the other days. I also want to give a shout out to Arrow Addictions and them providing me with mineral, and Blue Spruce Whitetails for giving me deer lures, and also a shout out to Deer Tracks Outfitters for some seed that I did a food plot with, and DT food plots that I did a food plot with as well. And I also want to give a shout out to Whitetail Edge. Those guys, Ben Rising, if you watch him, he will just teach you step by step how he is successful in the field. And just watching him and his team has changed the way that I hunt tremendously, and upped my success level by a ton. So if you haven't seen any of Whitetail Edge's footage, check them out on YouTube. They are definitely by far the best whitetail hunting show out there. So this year we had a few new deer come in on the farm since Prince had moved out. We had, I'm gonna say 3 good deer, mature deer, which is 4.5 years or older. I had a deer called Zeus that we had an eye on, and a deer called Brick, and another deer we called Grundy. Grundy was by far the biggest deer, but he's just a deer that is invisible. He shows up early season, kinda. He'll show up at night, and then about this time, which is early November, he'll show up at night one time and then just disappear. So I don't think this deer's huntable. Maybe he would be this year, but I'm not out there. I wanted to get it done this year on film, so there was a deer that I knew I could get on, which was Brick. I had been watching him on cell cams, just doing what Whitetail Edge teaches you, staying on the edges, staying outside the bedding areas, and trying to set yourself up in between bedding and feeding. That was what I did. I set myself up to where I could get on the deer called Brick. I had him on camera following the scrape line pretty consistently on cold fronts. He would be up early in the morning at daylight, going by, coming out of the bedding area, or coming out of the feeding areas, going to bed, and then in the evenings he'd be coming out of bed, heading to the feeding areas. Watching him on my cell cams, it was very consistent. He would always come out, like I said, on a cold front, and it would be coming to bed in the morning and working his way out in the evening. And once rut was going to get here, I wasn't sure what he was going to do, so I just wanted to get on him, and I waited for the right wind direction. I had to have a south wind for that, and I took a Monday morning off. It was the 2nd, and I went out and I had to set on the other side of the woods because we had a northwest wind. And I sat there, and sure enough, on that cold morning, I got a picture of him going to bed at daylight, and I knew that the wind direction was going to change and we'd have a south wind that evening. So I went out there and that evening and had the wind directly in my face from his bedding area, and sure enough, it was like 4 o'clock-ish, and he comes out and he's coming right to me, and we just set this stand, I think a day or two prior, to try to get closer to him, because like I said, he was working his way on that scrape line. It was about 60 yards out there, and there just wasn't a shot. It's pretty thick in there. So we moved the set to get on him, and he's coming right into the set, and we cut some shooting lanes to the left side, so I could shoot kind of off my left side as he went by. And sure enough, instead of coming in that left side, he comes directly into me, and there's this big thick stuff, so I really did not expect him to come through here, but he comes through here And on film you see him kind of bobbing his head through this stuff, and I'm trying to get my camera set on him so I can make the shot. And as I draw, I'm remembering a time to where I had this opportunity and I took this shot and I hit a deer quartering to me slightly, and I hit him right in his shoulder, and I never found him, and I didn't want that to happen again. So I held off and was gonna let him work his way across to where I'd have a broadside shot. And as he's coming around, I'm trying to take my stabilizer and push the camera around with him. And I got weak in my right arm, not paying attention, just thinking about my left arm and moving this camera quietly, and I dropped my bowstring. And you can see that in the footage where the camera shakes, and I scare him off, and he trots off. And he goes about 23 yards, and he turns down another shooting lane that I had. It's actually the lane that I walk in on. And he turns and he's broadside to me, and I adjust the camera and I get him on film again. And he's walking just real slow and gingerly, like he really knew something wasn't right. And I tried the grunt thing, and he didn't stop, but he's just moving real slow. So I let the shot go, and I get him in a heart and get a good heart shot on him, and he don't go but maybe 80 yards in the woods, and we recover him.
just smoked brick. I'm pretty sure I heart shot him. Man, he went in front of me in a way that I really didn't expect him to go. It's real thick right here, so I figured he'd either go to one side or the other of me. He went right in front of me. So So I tried to get my camera set on him, and as I was trying to move it with my stabilizer, I had already drew back and my arm let down, scared the heck out of him, but he didn't know what it was. So we come back out and give me a 20-yard shot, 25-yard shot. I grunted at him, got him to stop. Put it right on him. On camera too. Holy crap. We did it, boys. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do my tracking job here before it gets too dark, but I do have a camera guy on the way, but we're gonna see what we can find. I got a bunch of blood, so we're just gonna start walking out and see what we got. Blood everywhere. That looks like a dead deer to me. Yeah, buddy. Just waiting on Zach. Hurry up, man. Come on. Yo, 50-pound street deer, bud. Look at that dude. Nice. He's a thick deer, man. He's mature. There's that little crab claw we kept seeing on that one side. Nice. Man, look at him. Dude. Man, I wish you were with me. I would have had you shoot. Man, that's nice, dude. Look at that. Perfect heart. He's big. Look at the head on him. Freaking horse.
And it was just an amazing moment, having it all come together like it did. You know, you grow up, if you grew up like me, grew up in the deer woods, chasing whitetail, and to me it was, can't shoot unless you're there. So the more I hunted, the more opportunities you have. And as I got older and gained knowledge and read more about deer and watching Whitetail Edge and Ben Rising and Kyle Kinsey, and you know, those guys, you learn from them that working harder doesn't always make you successful, but working smarter can make you successful in the field, and that's what happened this year. And you know, just a big thanks to those guys for you know, helping me to learn what I have. And I also want to throw out a big thanks to, you know, my family for putting up with me while I'm deer hunting, and you know, a big thanks to, you know, my family who has taught me to love the woods, you know, and love deer hunting, and you know, it's instilled in somebody young. So I'm instilling that in my children as well, and hopefully we get some footage of Liam getting on the deer this year. I'm gonna get him out tomorrow evening. So I also have a good friend Zach. Filming for me this year, and I got it done, so now I'm filming him, and I actually have some footage of him getting a pretty close shot on a deer. I'll let you guys check that out. But anyways, again, thanks again for supporting me and supporting, you know, my family and everything that I do out there. I just appreciate you and appreciate my wife Laura so much for, you know, being with the kids while I'm out here doing my thing. You know, it's just, she's definitely a blessing, so thank you, hon. And thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate it.